What's going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. So congratulations, we did it. We made it through 2018, depending on where you're at. It's either New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, but either way, close enough. Wanted to say shout out to everyone that's been liking, subscribing, and commenting. You guys are, seriously freaking awesome. Thank you so much for this incredible journey. Despite the price action, despite the bear market, it's been an absolute honor to spend this year with you guys, and I really hope you're having a great day so far. So having a look at the markets, we are seeing a little bit of red. It's not really too much in comparison. Actually, even though we're showing red, since I got up this morning, the market actually went up $1 billion. So, just got to throw that out there. So we have a $3,813 Bitcoin. We have a 35-cent XRP and $138 Ethereum. Now, a lot of people are starting to look at this XRP and Ethereum, and they're like, look at this. They're not too far away anymore. So could Ethereum end up, flipping XRP again? Well, a lot of people are talking about this, how it's set for positivity with Constantinople coming out. So if you guys don't know what this is, it's actually scheduled to happen in the middle of January, and it's going to increase the speed on the Ethereum network, right? As well as make it more economically viable than the current status quo. So yeah, definitely check that out, see what's going on. But obviously, if we zoom out here and have a look at the biggest gainers of the day, we have Mobile Go up 16, MOAC, or MOAC, Bitcoin Private, Dentacoin, Binance, Mixin, PundiX, IOTA, MadeSafe, and Komodo all doing well today. Now, if we have a look at where we are, my goodness, it has been quite a journey, quite a year. For people that have been, long-term subscribers that have been watching this channel for a while, yeah, we've had an incredible journey, but also to anyone that's just getting in right now, are you kidding me? I'm so jealous of people that are just getting interested in Bitcoin today. You know what I'm saying? But what are you going to do? It happens. Now, obviously, some people are pointing out, I've seen a few different TAs saying that we're forming an inverse head and shoulder pattern kind of thing. So you can see there's a shoulder right here, the head, and then the other shoulder. Now, this shoulder, it's sort of consolidating right now, as you can see right here. So technically, for it to be like a true shoulder, we'd have to actually, complete it. But inevitably, they're saying there's a potential chance for a breakout. Now, I don't do a lot of TA. I could get into it if you wanted to, but basically, these are all the different potential trajectories. I'm hoping for this one, but also I wouldn't mind scooping up a little more coins on the cheap. So what did I miss? Well, guys, I didn't make a video yesterday. It felt pretty crazy, I know. I'm not used to not making videos. I actually kind of hated it, but I had to get some stuff done. So what did we miss? Well, basically, Litecoin, UFC, right? That happened. Also, this hilarious story that came out from Wells Fargo. So it looks like they have to pay $575 million in a settlement after admitting that they systematically scammed their own customers. And this is the hilarious part. It ironically came after they were basically saying that Bitcoin is too risky of an investment. So long story short, they admitted that their employees opened more than 3.5 million sham, unauthorized bank and credit card accounts in customers' names between 2002 and 2017. The bank then illegally charged its clients for various financial service products that they never actually signed up for, like life insurance policies, collateral protection, etc. And the employees actually said that they engaged in this fraud because they were afraid to lose their job. So just wanted to start off by saying, long Bitcoin, short the banks. Anyway, I just think it was kind of funny considering they're saying, screw Bitcoin, and then they're doing this. But, in reality, what's a $575 million, settlement anyway for a bank that, made multiple billions of dollars, over the course of the year anyway. Now, the other thing that I missed that I wanted to talk about before we get into the price and all that other crazy stuff is Tony Robbins actually tweeted yesterday, what the heck is Bitcoin and how does it work? So this is crazy because Tony Robbins has 3 million plus subscribers and it's just more exposure. And the interesting thing is if you look at it, not only did the Google trend search actually spike just a little bit, but also at the same time, it's actually been up ever since September. Now I know, people say, you can't go by the Google trends, but I mean, literally, if you look back here, we were down around 29 and up here, we're now at 47, according to the Google trend trend chart. So you cannot ignore that. This is the article right here. You know, what is Bitcoin? It's pretty objective. He doesn't really take either side. I think it's very good for newcomers. The only thing I really didn't like, though, is the very end down here, because you come down here and it talks about, you know, criminals, widely publicized Silk Road, you know, Mount Gox. It kind of ends on a really negative note, which I'm not really a fan of. However, the one thing I did want to point out is that between the ending of that and the fact that just 2 hours ago, CCN comes out with this ridiculous FUD article about how all these experts are predicting that Bitcoin is crap. It's going to $1,000. It's purely speculative. The only thing that you're trying to do is, it's like the greater fool theory, right? Like, I'm a fool for buying Bitcoin. Now I just want to sell it to a greater fool for more money, which not really the case. I actually am planning on holding my Bitcoin for quite some time. You know, Bitcoin is basically the equivalent of black and white TV. Crypto's worthless unless it's used. I actually kind of agree with that. You do need to use it. He's saying it's going to drop under $1,000 by the end of the year 2019. So, I mean, personally, when I see all of this, you know, bullish stuff, it kind of just makes me want to buy Bitcoin, to be honest with you. You know, the more these guys scoff at it, the more I want to buy it. But that's just me. I'm weird. So anyway, talking about it, they're not entirely wrong. Okay, they're not entirely wrong. I mean, you could see right here, nearly 1,000 crypto projects have been declared dead in just 2018 alone. Now, this is over at Forklog, and you could see that over 1,000 crypto projects have been officially dead, according to Chepacap. Now, the term dead projects relates to projects that are either scams or projects that failed to deliver any product, eventually leading to zero trading volume. So you can actually check out this website over here. It's called Dead Coins. It's pretty cool. And if you scroll down, not only does it tell you the coin that died, but it tells you why and what happened. So, for example, Hyperpay, summary, no connection with its product, scam. Here we go, deceased, KMC, announced delist of Chemo Coin. You know, so basically, you see that if there's over 1,000 dead coins, and we go back to we go back to CoinMarketCap, and we see that there's 2,000 coins, that means that half of the coins are dead. No wonder people are saying that this place is a risky, you know, place to invest your money. I mean, half of the coins on CoinMarketCap are dead. That's crazy. And BitConnect isn't even listed anymore. And that's probably the most famous scam of all. So getting back on topic over here, you could see that Coinopsy, they specify an instant dead coin as either ranked below 1,000 for over 3 months, volume under 1,000 for 3 months, website dead, no trace of updates, and obviously no nodes or similar problems. By the way, if anything is trading under $1,000 in volume for 3 months, that's insane. Like, I can't even imagine that low of trading. Anyway, moving on. So that's basically the situation. This is Dead Coins. I'll drop a link below. But we're not here to talk about the death of crypto. We're here to talk about the long-term vision of crypto, right? And the one thing I want to bring up is that, you know, though cryptocurrency experienced a ridiculously bearish year in 2018, the one thing that we actually learned recently is that the big old whales, right? The ones that we're normally pointing fingers at and saying, you know, screw the whales. Well, statistics actually show that the whales took the best advantage of the period. In fact, in expectation of a future rise and scarcity of crypto, Bitcoin in particular, they actually stocked up on billions worth of crypto, most of them using OTC. But the point is that we actually found out that most of these whales were not dumping. They were actually accumulating, which is very, very interesting. So the whales were actually our friends this year, so it seems. So according to the report, the number of OTC providers increased since China banned the crypto exchanges last year. And, you know, though it's been around for years, the growth was triggered by the demand of big crypto investors who wanted to operate behind the veil. Now, let's talk about some crazy Bitcoin predictions, and then let's move on to a little more realistic approach. And then I want to talk about what to expect in 2019. I also want to talk about proof of keys. You've probably heard about that. I'm going to let you know my opinion on that and what I'm doing personally. So definitely stick around for that. But it turns out that this dude, okay, so this is Philb. He's a frequent contributor on TradingView. He actually has sort of aligned views with Bobby Lee's insane prediction of a $333,000 Bitcoin. So how do we arrive at this? Well, they're basically basing it on math and the dramatic and cyclical rise and fall of the price of Bitcoin in the past, which has obviously plunged over 87% in many different cases. Now, obviously, past performance doesn't necessarily mean it's going to do it again, but it's already done it a few times, okay? So if you look at the chart, which I'll bring up in just a second, he says that Bitcoin hitting rock bottom around 2,500 to 3,100 over the next year is probably what's going to happen. Then he thinks it's going to trade around 10,000. He doesn't think it's going to go above 10,000, but we're going to be within that range throughout next year. And then after Bitcoin's next halvening around May 27th of 2020, I know, guys, can you hold it for another year and a half, right? Bitcoin's price based on historical swings could soar well above 332,733. So this is the chart right here. I'm just going to bring it up super fast. Now you can see right here. Now obviously this is the logarithmic chart. That's why it looks the way that it does. Now you can see the different prices that or the different retracement levels that they're referring to here. So these red levels are capitulation. So you can see here's the first one, here's the second one. Now here we are currently right now. This is where we are right here. We obviously had that drop. So he's saying if we scroll over here, you're looking at around that, 22,800 maybe mark here. And then this is where we're going to really start to blast off right around that third halvening. And the other indicators include the bounce to new resistance as well as the support before capitulation. So there you go. Oh, and then he has these indicators, 99% to 61.8 of the prior move. So that's where they're coming to this conclusion. So if you believe in it, I mean, even at this point, if one Bitcoin is going to be worth $333,000 and Bitcoin is currently worth $3,800, I would think that just in case, I would try to hold at least one Bitcoin personally. If I'm not, and I hate to give financial advice, but I know people don't like holding Bitcoin because it doesn't make as much money as the alts. But I just think that you should try to hold one Bitcoin. That's all. Because hey, it could go up to that. Think about that. That could be life-changing money. So moving on, let's talk about Bitcoin's history. I know, we're getting there. But let's talk about their history. So obviously you've seen that time and time again, Bitcoin has survived. I mean, it's died over 330 times according to, what is that? Bitcoin obituaries, right? So the thing is that I wanted to talk about is that we don't truly know how Bitcoin is going to react if we actually do have some crazy global meltdown or financial collapse. That's kind of what I'm interested looking forward to. I'm not looking forward to a financial collapse, but I'm just saying, we really haven't seen a downturn since 2008, and that's when Bitcoin was created. So now we're seeing a lot of stocks having issues, right? So the thing is, with leading economists expecting a U.S. stock market to face larger sell-offs in the first quarter of 2019, triggered by the rising Federal Reserve interest rates and the trade war between the U.S. and China, Bitcoin could serve as an alternative means of payment and long-term investment throughout the years to come. Now, excuse me, guys, I have to remind me tomorrow, these freaking auto updates. I got to turn them off. Anyway, getting back to what we were saying. Throughout the past 2 years, many cryptocurrency-focused hedge funds have actually emerged with the intent of holding on to Bitcoin and holding on to crypto for a long-term investment. Not to mention the fact that we have all these other guys coming in like Fidelity and Bakkt and NASDAQ, although Not really a fan of the futures thing. But that being said, something like Bakkt, for example, this means that in the long run, these hedge funds or these tools, for example, like what Bakkt is doing, they're going to end up acquiring tens of thousands of Bitcoin, and this is going to basically be pulled out of the circulating supply. Right? So this could potentially help the market out in the future by having all of these coins being, essentially hodled. Right? So that was a point that I wanted to make also moving forward. The other thing that is really important, now this comes down to actual use case, is that Bitcoin has hit a 10-month high in transaction volume. So meanwhile, transaction fees are at a multi-year low. These figures indicate that factors such as scaling improvements to the Bitcoin protocol and the relatively modest price of Bitcoin have made transactions in the cryptocurrency extremely affordable. In fact, we're averaging around 300,000 transactions per day. Now, I know some of you may argue, well, some of it is wash trading and some of it is the exchanges. Nevertheless, that's still a lot of transactional volume happening. Now, yes, it has taken a bit of a hit since the all-time, high, but that was just because people were really losing confidence, right? A lot of people were like, I'm getting out of this, screw this, falling knife, whatever. But you can see right here that it has increased over time. And, transaction fees are actually at a 2-year low, both in absolute and in fiat terms as well. The average transaction is around it's like 3 cents. It's about 3 cents a transaction. So People arguing, is this too expensive to buy bubblegum and cups of coffee? Maybe, I don't know. But are we still using that argument, guys? I mean, I don't really know if anyone, I don't even know if I'd want to use my Bitcoin to buy bubblegum or coffee. I almost like treasure Bitcoin a little too much. You know what I'm saying? So the other thing too is if you look at it in Satoshi values, you're looking at anywhere between 2 to 30 Satoshis for transmission, which is pretty low. So the cost of Bitcoin to use the network has obviously trended down, even with the increased volume, as you can see right here. So just to give you an idea of an average comparison, a credit card transaction is roughly 2% plus a 10-cent transaction fee. I can actually agree with this because I used to own a business and I'm aware of these fees. So looking at the cost alone, Bitcoin is more than 3 times cheaper for small transactions and far more cost effective for large transactions. Now, the one thing about crypto that I've always found interesting though is how the sender is the person that pays the fee, because that's not something that we are used to out in the real world, right? Like if you go and you buy something with a credit card at a store, you don't pay those fees, the merchant does. If something's $10, you swipe it, you just pay $10, right? But they have to pay a fee. But we pay the fee in crypto. So that's something that I always found kind of weird. But, for example, Coinbase is charging its customers 2 to 2.5% transaction fees with the spread also included. But the thing that I wanted to talk about is as we have more of these competitive solutions coming out, I think that you'll see more competitiveness, right? Like you ever hear about like gas wars, right? Like, say you have, notice gas stations usually tend to be on corners because it's easy accessibility, right? And you usually tend to have 2 gas stations right across the street from each other. Well, they're always like kind of going at it with these price wars, right? So I think the more that we have different solutions, these prices are going to come down. These fees are going to come down because they're going to become more competitive. This guy's going to say, hey, we're offering you the same thing that Coinbase offers, the same protection, but we're doing it for cheaper. Why are you going to use Coinbase, right? So, I mean, obviously there's ways that you can get around paying fees on Coinbase if you use Coinbase Pro. It's an old trick some people know about, but I just wanted to point that out as well. So here's the part that we are all excited for, and this is, where do we go from here? Where are we going, and what can we expect, right? Well, the crazy bull market of 2017 and, early 18, obviously ICOs, we know, thou shalt not be named, the ICO, right? Well, ICOs had an insane effect on the markets. We migrated away from the principles and the values of decentralization, and we basically got stuck in these ICO craze, right? Well, the thing is that I personally don't think ICOs are that bad. I do think that they're going to come back. I think that we're just not going to see this crap come out. It's going to be a lot more realistic, and there's obviously going to be a lot more rules to abide by, and people are going to be a lot more skeptical and do a lot more research before investing into these. So crypto does make users feel invested in the success of the project. So, look at Binance, for example. Binance is a great example of, a project that had an ICO. Binance had an ICO, and their ICO was only 50 million or something when they did it. So, I mean, I'm not going to do the math right now, but if you look at where it is right now, Binance is sitting at, 800 million and it had a 50 million ICO. So that's pretty damn good return, but obviously they delivered. They came out with the exchange. They had a functioning token. They do token burns. So these are the types of things that we need moving forward. The second thing that I think we need personally is we need a freaking killer app. We need something that people are actually going to use that's not going to be just as good, but it's going to be better. I don't know if you guys watched the Richard Hart interview that Crypto did with him, but he talks about how, if it's just as good, it's not good enough. If it's a little bit better, it's probably not enough incentive to change. It needs to be drastically better. We're talking 10 times better. So until we have a blockchain app that's not only just as good, but substantially better than our options that we have right now, well, it's going to be very, very difficult. But we'll probably see some different things develop over time. A lot of people speculate that it's probably going to be something in the gaming arena, right? Because blockchain game adoption is in my opinion, a great use case. Not to say games on blockchain, but like items in the games themselves. I mean, think about it. What do you do when you play games anyway? I mean, yeah, if you're not out there, playing Fortnite shooting people, essentially you want to beat the levels and acquire items, right? You want to get things. You want to open chests. You want to put stuff in your inventory. So I could see this being very blockchain related in the future. Also, another thing that we have is the emergence of stable coins. So there's probably going to be a bunch of like Venmo type, products coming out there where stable coins will be sent back and forth. Now, yes, this isn't like the original vision of crypto to be sending around a bunch of stable coins, but it will help with the the actual volatility. And I do think it'll be a good gateway to get people into using crypto. Okay, it's a stable coin, but it'll get them familiar with sending crypto and having their own private keys and putting it in a wallet, right? So that could be good. And the final thing is that middle ground. As they point out, number 4, we're reaching a point where we realize that full-on decentralization really doesn't work, and full-on centralization obviously doesn't work. Well, it does work, but not really so much for us. And that's why we find ourselves here currently at these crossroads. So we're going to have to find a success of the middle ground between decentralized and centralized, right? And it's okay. Guys, it's okay. I think that it will be the best for everyone. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, because neither of these extremes really serve businesses or people that well. So this is basically what we can look forward to in 2019. Now, I wanted to do a bit of a retrospect, right? I actually had a video that came out. I put it out a few months ago or something like that. It's this video right here. It's called Top 40 Reasons to be Bullish on Bitcoin and Cryptocurrencies. If you have not watched this video yet, please watch the video. It's an awesome video. It took me some time to put together. And yeah, it's literally nothing but just all positive stuff, which I know, right? That's not realistic. But I compiled 40 bits of articles. This was 1 month ago, actually, I did it. And it was all positive stuff. I mean, it was like stuff that, like, if you were trying to convince someone to get into crypto, show them this video. I don't know how to do those iCard things, you know, like when they pop up above. I'll see if I can like get a thing to pop up and you can click it. If it's not there, that means I failed, and wait till the end of video and I'll put it in there, or link in the description below. But look at even just recently, right? Forget the beginning of the year when everyone was in the hype phase. Look at the stuff that we accomplished, right? Well, in August, you had mobile payment Square. They started their Cash App, originally announced in January. Now you can use it to buy Bitcoin in all 50 states. In October, a Chinese court ruled in spite of the illegal status of cryptocurrency trading in the country, Bitcoin is still protected as a private property with economic values under the country's law. Also, you had a Dutch court that ruled Bitcoin to be a legitimate transferable value under local laws. Then in November, we had the state of Ohio being the first to allow taxes to be paid in Bitcoin, regardless of whether or not you actually choose to do this. The fact is the option is available. Also, don't forget that at a time when 600,000 mining operations shut down due to a lack of profits, Intel successfully filed a patent for an energy-efficient crypto mining processor. Now, that's one of the biggest things that people say, right? Oh, it takes too much energy, right? Well, they're developing ways to make it greener. So, you know, they're going to find these solutions. And then let's not forget we had those 2 U.S. lawmakers that proposed to exempt cryptocurrencies from federal securities laws. And also, New York exchange operator NASDAQ is planning to list its Bitcoin futures, which we know how we feel about the futures, but that is, you know, subject to regulatory approval. That's happening in the beginning of next year. So that is all good news. Now let's talk about this proof of keys thing that's going on. What is this all about? Well, I'm sure you've already heard of it at this point, so I'm not going to bore you with it. A lot of people have already talked about it. Obviously, this is happening in 2 days and 14 hours. You can watch a video right here from Trace Mayer. So basically, long story short, this is on January 3rd, you are basically, where we're celebrating the original Genesis block, and the idea is to take your Bitcoin off of the exchanges, not your keys, not your Bitcoin, right? So basically, the reason that we do this is, well, there's a whole bunch of reasons, but essentially it's so that you can reclaim what's yours, right? Because the whole reason we got away from the centralized system is so that we can actually have our own things. I mean, I don't know about you guys. I personally am the type of person that likes to own my stuff. So that's the idea. The other thing too is the concern over this fractional reserve lending type stuff, right? Now, if you're not familiar with that in banking, basically banks are allowed to lend out more money than they actually have, right? So this creates a problem. Well, the question is are these exchanges doing it as well? I mean, look at BitMEX, right? 100x leverage. So if you look at guys like, I mean, who knows if Binance is or isn't doing it, but there may be some exchanges out there that maybe they don't actually have all the coins that they say. I mean, if everybody right now, like hypothetically, if everyone right now just withdrew all their coins off of Binance, could we? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. We don't know if the actual coins are there, right? So that's pretty much the point of it. There's a few funny things actually in the video. I'm just going to play a couple clips real quick. It really made me laugh about people that screwed up and lost their Bitcoin back in the day.
You know, you play stupid games, you're going to win stupid prizes. There's a guy that threw 7,500 Bitcoins in his hard drive into the dump. Another ding-dong with about 50 Bitcoin on his iMac decided to go trade his iMac in without having a backup. Duh. Just, be careful with your private keys. Another guy had 335 Bitcoin Cash. It decided to import the private keys into an untrusted wallet without moving the Bitcoin cash. Like, okay, poof, they're gone now. Good luck with that.
You got to admit, if you threw away a hard drive with all that Bitcoin on it, wow, that'd be crazy. But anyway, so long story short, what am I doing? Well, I've already done it. I don't keep my coins on exchanges, so I've already participated. I don't believe in leaving my coins on exchanges. I only think you should do that if you're a day trader, okay? If you're trading every day, fine. And, you're pretty much, you love the risk as is. But for us, normal people over here, regulars, just kind of hodling, just chilling, I mean, I enjoy making these videos. I don't have time to trade all day, guys. So for me personally, I took my coins off. Now, I know according to this video, they're like, well, no, not hardware wallets. Guys, forget the FUD about the hardware wallets. It's been debunked. It's fine. The odds of your hardware wallet being hacked are like ridiculous, okay? So that being said, guys, you know me. I use my Ledger Nano. I've been using this for a year and a half now. This is where I keep all of my crypto. Well, this is where I keep some of my crypto. I actually have multiple wallets, but yeah, so this is my thing. And yeah, as you guys know, they're still doing their discount, by the way. I don't know. Let me actually see if this is still going on. Yeah, so they're still doing their 30% discount on Ledger, guys. I'm pretty sure this ends today. So if you guys want to participate in this proof of keys thing and you need a place to put your crypto, well, 30% off really doesn't get much better than that, guys. I do have a link in the description below. You're more than welcome to use it. It helps the channel, doesn't cost you a thing. You don't have to, okay? But you need to keep your coins safe, and I highly suggest you own the private keys, whatever you choose to do in the future, okay? So that's my take on that. Now, talking about some coin news before we get on out of here, Roger Ver was offered $1.25 million to OpenNode, a Lightning Network software company, to build on top of Bitcoin Cash instead of Bitcoin, and OpenNode declined, stating, "Our vision of a better, more open financial system is only possible with Bitcoin." Sorry, Roger. Sorry. Also, there are some rumors about Tezos potentially being listed on Coinbase because somebody was talking about the API over here, checking the answers to their API. They got the answer, etc. So I clicked on this. This is what I get. So I don't know what the heck they were looking at, but whatever they were looking at, apparently they seem to think that Tezos could be the next coin listed on Coinbase. I have no idea. Total rumor. Don't kill the messenger. But hey, I figured I would relay the message, okay? Now, moving on, I also want to talk about IOHK, the team behind Cardano, is launching what's called the Cardano Ambassador Program. So this is pretty cool. So they're calling out for roles that ambassadors can play to help grow and foster the Cardano community, including meetups, moderators, content creators, and translators. So if you guys are interested, maybe you reach out and you could be an ambassador, which means you could literally get paid to support Cardano. If you're a huge Cardano fan, that could be something of interest to you. Now, before we go, I have one article that I think you should read. I really think you should read this, especially if you've been in crypto all year. Why Bitcoin actually matters for freedom, all right? And this article, very long, not going to go into it. It goes on to talk about, what's happening in Venezuela and Argentina and all these other places, okay? But I basically want to come down to summarize here, right? The thing is, and it's a great article, by the way. Definitely read it, but I'm not going to spoil it for you. We have to pay attention to the dark side of emerging technology, okay? You have very intelligent guys out there. For example, Elon Musk has warned that AI, artificial intelligence and big data could strengthen tyrants and authoritarians, wow, around the world. So you have regimens in Venezuela, Iran, and Saudi Arabia even trying to mutate and centralize Bitcoin's concept of peer-to-peer digital money to create their own state-controlled cryptocurrencies like the Petro, which could allow them to more effectively censor transactions, surveil users, and evade sanctions. So that's the thing that we have to be a little concerned about is there a nefarious side to this tech? Could be. Now, I wanted to point out real quick, there was something that Robert Kiyosaki said. Now, he's the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. That's one of my favorite books, honestly. It was that book that literally started to get me out of the matrix of the way of thinking. Really, I mean, I'll just be honest. I started with Rich Dad, moved on to The Richest Man in Babylon, started reading a couple other books as well. And yeah, here we are today. So if you look at this interview that he did with World Alternative Media News, he says that there's 3 kinds of money. And I'll actually let him explain.
So the 3 types of money today are, God's money, gold and silver. Then you have government money, which is fiat currency, the dollar, the loonie, the yen, the yuan. And then you have people's money, which is crypto. And it's really blockchain. But
so, getting back to that, he pretty much refers to crypto as the people's money. So what I really wanted to summarize was that decentralizing technologies actually can provide a countering force. Beyond Bitcoin, there's encrypted communication apps and browsers like Signal. We have Tor, privacy preserving cryptocurrencies like Zcash, Monero. There's a whole slew of them, guys. Pivx just had a massive pump the other day. Mesh networks are coming out. We're seeing satellites going into space so that you don't even need to have internet, right? So in the event of like an EMP, like destroying all, or the internet gets shut off, well, we should still be able to communicate with these things. You have GoTenna, IPFS storage systems. So by building on and investing in tools like these, we can ensure that our cities, social networks, and financial systems don't turn into tools of surveillance and control. So Bitcoin essentially is like an insurance policy against an Orwellian future. I think I said that right. George Orwell, you know what I'm talking about. So the other thing that I wanted to point out too before we go is realize how early you are. Like, I know people are like, oh, I'm not early. If I was early, I would have bought Bitcoin at 10 cents. Well, you didn't. And neither did I. And neither did most people. And in reality, a lot of people that did buy Bitcoin back then, we like to pretend like they're just like these massive hodlers, right? A lot of them sold. A lot of them sold, guys. Actually, I have a thing. Look at this. Here's the thing I'll bring up right now. Just read that. Can you imagine this guy selling Bitcoin for that price? Look at that. That's a real tweet. And most people did this back in the day. Most people ended up selling, okay? So I just wanted to point that out and know that less than 1% of the world's population, so that's no more than 40 million people, have ever actually used Bitcoin. I mean, that we know of, maybe some in secrecy, okay? But even if it was 2%, that's absolutely nothing. According to the Human Rights Foundation, more than 50% of the world's population lives under an authoritarian regimen. I got it right that time. If we invest the time and resources to develop user-friendly wallets, more exchanges, better educational materials for Bitcoin, it has the potential to make a real difference for the 4 billion who can't trust their rulers, who can't have access to the banking system, and for them, Bitcoin can be the way out. And on that note, guys, I pretty much just want to leave it there. And if that doesn't make you happy, well, how about this Bitcoin puppers, huh? Yeah, that's going to make you happy. So before we go, guys, I just wanted to say thank you so much for everyone that's joined me on this insane journey. Wherever you are, I hope you're being safe today on the New Year's. I'd love to have a drink with you right now, but literally it's the morning and there's no way that I'll get done with this video and editing. So I'm going to have to wait. But, later on tonight, we'll be having a shot in spirit, okay? And yeah, guys, thank you so much for everyone that's came back to the channel. It's obviously been an incredible journey. So to anyone getting in right now, wow, that's a discount. You guys freaking rule. Once again, Ledger, 30% off, link in the description below. Also, gotta let you guys know, today is the last day, unfortunately, for the blockchain brief discount for the first month free. If you guys want, you can come over to, I have a link in the description as well. Come over here, enter your email, and you'll get the first and second issue totally for free. And then if you like it, and you want to, purchase more, then you can do it. But you got to do it by today, okay? So that being said, guys, that is it for me. But I did not forget about you guys. We have a t-shirt to give away. I didn't forget. So let me go over to this video from yesterday. We will copy this, go over to our random comment picker. So depending on the time you're watching, this is either the last winner of the year or the first winner of the year. So let's generate the comments. We had 316 unique comments. Awesome. So drum roll, please, for the t-shirt. We have love the way you are and one of the few YouTubers doing more videos than usual rather than less. Oh, Dragon on Crypto. That's like the nicest comment ever. Thank you so much. I feel bad I didn't put a video out yesterday. But you don't want the shirt, so it's all good. I really appreciate that, though. Thank you so much, okay? So let's try this again. I love your channel and I would like to get the shirt. Well, you got the shirt. You're awesome. Simone9828 Spotlight, whatever. Hey, congratulations. Awesome. So we're going out with a bang here. It's New Year's Eve. Hit me up in the About Me if you want for that t-shirt, the winner that I just picked. And that is it for me today, guys. It is a new year. What is going on over here? Hope everyone's having a great day. And yeah, let's get it, guys. Let's get it. It's a brand new year. We're going to be so much wiser, so much smarter. And I can't wait. I can't wait for another year. I'm pumped. I'm really genuinely pumped, guys. So everyone that's been liking, subscribing, commenting, you freaking rule. You're the reason that I do this every single day. That's it for me today, guys. Video was a little bit longer today, but I didn't make one yesterday, so you know how that goes. That being said, my name is K-Dub. This is Crypto Zombie. Until next time, stay crypto, and peace out.